All right, so this is make or buy for managerial accounting, chapter 23. And so for make or buy, the first things that we have to think about besides whether to make or buy is the incremental costs, which are additional costs if a company pursues a certain course of action. So in the book, page 989, this example problem says that Fast Track is buying a part 417, and it's currently buying it, and it's being delivered for $1.20 per unit. And the first thing that Fast Track wants to figure out is whether they should continue to buy it for $1.20 or make it themselves and see if it is less than that and see if they could save money. So the book gives examples of the cost if they were to make it. So direct materials would cost around 45 cents per unit. Direct labor would cost 50 cents per unit, and then overhead costs are not given. And so the first thing that Fast Track would have to figure out is how much overhead to add to these costs so that they can decide whether to keep buying it or to make it themselves. So the book gives information about this, and that is the predetermined overhead application rate is 100% of the direct labor cost. And so that would mean that 100% of direct labor, which is 50 cents, would equal the overhead cost, which would mean it would equal 50 cents as well. However, the book says that this is not completely correct all the time. So it is only the incremental costs that are relevant in this situation. So what they need to figure out is if this cost added to these is less than what it costs to buy the part. And so if the price is under 25 cents, then it would be under $1.20. That's what they need to figure out. And besides financial information, Fast Track would need to think of non-financial information such as product quality, timeliness of delivery, especially for just-in-time orders, customer reactions, employee workload, etc. And so the book does not give a specific answer for this, but this is just the way that you would go about solving a problem. And so I wanted to give a specific problem. So the MotorGo Corporation is producing 5,000 units. Which cost $12 for variable costs per unit and fixed costs per unit. And so this is what it takes to make it themselves. And what they wanted to know is whether they should buy from AutoFund Corp. And if they were to buy from AutoFund Corp, they would produce the same amount of units, but it would cost $15 for variable costs. And it would also cost $4 for fixed costs because it's the same fixed cost. So the first thing that they would need to do is take the 5,000 units and multiply it by variable costs, which is 60,000. And then they would also multiply the units produced, 5,000, times the fixed cost too. And then they would add those together, that and that, and that equals 80,000. And so that's how much it takes to make it themselves. And so if they were to get it from AutoFund Corporation, they would do the same thing over here just to figure out what the math is on this. So that would be 5,000 units and then times AutoFund Corporation price for variable cost, which is 15. That's that. And then we do the same thing, units produced times the fixed cost. And then we would add these up. I'm just using the Excel equation to add things up, which is a sum. And then that. and then that equals 95. So, judging from these numbers, MotorGo Corporation should keep making it because they would lose $15,000. And a way to see that even more clearly is taking the difference of the two. So that would be equals this minus this. The buy minus the make is 15,000. So that's how much they would lose if they bought from AutoFun. But that's how much they're saving by making it themselves.